What up, everybody? It's me, KiNGAlpha. Hope everybody's doing great. Sorry for not doing uploads and everything like that. I think past 3 days right now, or 2 days, I've had like an ear infection, and it's been absolutely just annoying. And I even tried streaming yesterday, and it was just pissing me off the whole time. Regardless, we're not here to talk about my ear infection. We're here to talk about short bow. So I know a lot of people have, wanted to see my short bow, build um what exactly what causes so much damage, what do I do to make the short bow dominant. Now I just want to say this because I did make a mall guide a while ago. This build pertains to me. I personally enjoy this build a lot because of the fact that it's just, it's my build. I use the same build for the mall as well, and it just works perfect for me. I will say this, don't always just listen to everybody else that says, "Oh, this is the best build. This is the best build." Honestly, just play the way you feel you enjoy it. If you want to play longsword with full toughness, go ahead, do it. You know what I mean? It's all dependent on you and how you want to enjoy the game. So, this build I'm going to be giving you, I'm just trying to basically help you improve at being a short bow. Suggesting a build, suggesting what you can build, suggesting skills. You can always just use different skills as well. These are the skills that work for me, and these are the skills that work for me in which I dominate. And so, yeah. Um, so we're gonna go over, obviously the skill points first, then over my equipment, and then we'll go over the skills. So, and then there's also one little bit that I'm gonna be showing you guys, which is in the training yard, that is specific for the short bow that, people always question what it is and everything like that. So we'll get into that later. Anyway, so I do have the 45 strength, 45 agility, 25 armor, 25 toughness build. It's the same build that I use on the mall, and it absolutely works great. It does feel nice that I can switch from being a short bow straight to the mall and not have to reset my skills every time. I know certain people do that. They always reset their skills and whatever. And then especially now that you get a free reset, try this build. If the build doesn't work for you, or if the build feels nice, or you want to try something else, just get your free reset, try a different build. I know full strength short bow isn't really the best, but I've heard a lot about like full agility, and obviously full agility will give you a bunch of piercing damage. And piercing, this regular piercing damage, whereas strength gives you that piercing armor penetration. That's why I still do like to use the strength, mainly because of the fact that there's piercing armor penetration. If there wasn't any piercing armor penetration, short bow doesn't do any slashing damage or blunt damage really. So yeah, I do enjoy the piercing damage. I can literally melt short swords, long swords, mauls, everything. If anybody's watched any of my streams, or even the video that I put up that I was 19-0 with the short bow, you can possibly just dominate with the short bow, and people just don't expect it. It's a big thing now, because obviously before, longbow was the most dominant in the game. You were barely seeing short bow, which honestly at that point I wish I did play short bow, because I feel like, it was one of those underwhelming classes until they nerfed longbow, and then everybody was like, holy crap, short bow is so amazing. So yeah. Now this, getting a legendary weapon, I did craft this. you know I will say this: best of luck to you. Unless you want to buy a wind catcher, or just get schematics and keep trying for one. I got very lucky. I decided to craft one. I crafted it, and it was like it was just amazing. It was amazing. I couldn't I just it was crazy. So hopefully your RNG skill is there, or luck is there, and you can craft a really good short bow. Even if the short bow is purple, sometimes it could still craft good. So I just want you guys to know, like, the best stuff that you want to really look for is piercing armor penetration, piercing damage, and crit value. That's the biggest stuff that you want. A little bit of blunt damage is not that bad. It does kind of, I believe, help out with your bola if you use bola. So just keep that in mind. Also, some of the great things with the light armor, you can't use short bow with medium or heavy armor, but the great things with light armor as well is the fact that it increases crit value by 96 points, which if you have extra crit value on your weapon and everything, crit value goes insanely up. You basically almost crit most of the time. You also, with the 2 pieces of light armor, you do get increasing piercing, slashing, and armor penetration, and blunt charge damage, but mainly it's just the increasing pierce damage, which is really nice. I do have this blue one because of leadership. This other one, because it's legendary, obviously crit value. Also, the bracers do typically give you a lot of crit value, 156 crit value. So if you can get a little bit more crit value on like your bracers, that would be really good as well. um Same thing with any of these. You want to obviously look for leadership, but for the most part, you want to look for crit value. Crit value is some of the big things with the light armor class that you really want to work with. Let's go into the skills. So the skills, this is particularly for me. Everybody always asks me, you don't use an alt, you don't use an alt. Honestly, no. I mean, Wrath of Archimedes, it looks like a really fun skill, but it doesn't really do that much damage unless you have it like level 3, which I will say it does do a lot of damage, especially to like light armor people, or if you can, stop them and shoot them a bunch like this. But I know a lot of people do love to use Angry Hornets. Angry Hornets is a really deadly skill, I will say, because of the poison itself. However, I don't use it either. I run my skill base thing, and it just works so well with me. As well, I know a lot of people do use rolling escape. I will say, if you want to take out Bola or poison arrow and use rolling escape, if you find yourself in that situation where you're constantly always getting CC'd, you're not positioning yourself well, use rolling escape, because it will help you out a lot with poleaxe ults or getting CC'd a lot, everything like that. It removes concussion and it removes daze, and it also increases your movement speed for 15% for 3 seconds. But this is the build I use, and this is the build that works for me. I like to output as much damage as possible, whether someone's trying to run away or whether someone's like literally right below me. This is the build that I use to actually just output as much damage as possible. So I have the Poison Arrow level 3. It's on an 8-second cooldown. So instead of the Angry Hornets, which does do a lot of damage, it's at a 50-second cooldown. Especially for anybody turning to short bow or anything, you're not going to immediately get Angry Hornets level 3, which does do a lot more damage per second and everything like that. But Poisoned Arrow level 3 still does a lot of damage for 8 seconds as well. It actually does more poison damage, 165 points of damage for 8 seconds, compared to the poison drains 120 health per second for 8 seconds. So that's just an extra thing. That's the extra effect of Angry Hornets, because obviously Angry Hornets does do a lot. But Angry Hornets is like one of those shotgun things, so you have to like really be able to hit all of your shots with Angry Hornets. Whereas Poison Tipped Arrow or Poison Arrow, you literally use this, and when I tell you, you will see someone's health just immediately go down. And the amount of times Poison Arrow has helped me literally secure so many kills, it is ridiculous the amount of kills that Poison Arrow has secured me. A short sword, hitting iron sides, and I'm just tapping him every like 8 seconds with just a Poison Arrow. And then finally, when his iron sides is done, and then he just dies from my poison when he's running away. Oh, so beautiful. Just it's satisfaction of Poison Arrow, just being able to hit someone and then even just securing kills. It's just awesome. So yeah, this is my first ability. You can put it on Q, whichever ability. I would really suggest this as well. Put your skills in a position where you feel like, with your fingertips and everything, that it's easy for your memory. Just your memory, like, okay, I'm gonna be pressing this button, this button, this button, and you're gonna be able to use like my E stun, and then I go boom, I use Steel Tipped Arrow, and then I go Poison Arrow, and things like that. You get your fingers so used to it where you're just hitting your combos, and everything's at such a low cooldown that you're literally just hitting your combos constantly. But learn your buttons. I think a lot of people, obviously you have to put your alt at T, but a lot of people, typically like will change their skills. If they change their skills, they put it somewhere that, and I don't know, it's maybe just me, but if I changed Steel Tipped Arrow for Rolling Escape, I will probably, it'll take me a bit of a game just to freaking realize, okay, wait, my R is actually what's Rolling Escape and all that stuff. So put the skills in a way that you feel you will remember. I think one big thing was with Nodachi, I always had Bloodthirsty on R, and it just worked so well for me because, it was just immediate for me. Like I know when I wanted to use the skill Bloodthirsty, and I would press R, like my finger would press R. So just a little tip there. The next thing is Stunning Shot. Stunning Shot, absolutely need. Poison Arrow you can obviously take out and you could use something else, but Stunning Shot is just absolutely insane. It concusses the enemy. It does do a lot of piercing damage as well. A lot of this does piercing damage, which is great. So that's why the strength also does come into play, which is awesome. Um, so basically, you concuss your enemy, he goes down on one knee. I will say this, guys, there's a lot of classes that can get out of this if they use a certain skill and everything. So this is why I do use Bola. So we'll talk about that in a second. So just remember, this only concusses your enemy. So if anybody has, a skill that can get them out of concussion and everything like that, it will, they, just don't always depend on this skill for when you're stunning someone, that they, will stay stunned, and then you can keep doing your combo and stuff. Use this stunning shot when okay, he just used Uko's Doom, or this this freaking spear just used his lose march or whatever, things like that. One thing I really do love is Steel Tipped Arrow. Also, it's on a 12-second cooldown when you get it to level 3, which is awesome. Also, Steel Tipped Arrow, guys. Oh my gosh. The Steel Tipped Arrow really combines with a lot with something else. And I'll be showing you guys when we go to the quartermaster, or to the War Scholar or whatever. But basically, Steel Tipped Arrow at a 6-second cooldown. And when you do hit someone, it basically like does a little daze. So if you ever had a musket shoot you and it like dazes you a little bit, it does like a quick little daze, which is nice because if someone's running at you, you hit them with the steel tipped arrow and they kind of like daze a little bit, which is nice. So you do get 100% of your base piercing damage plus 1,371 points of piercing damage. But an extra effect is the arrow reduces enemies' defense for 30% for 2 seconds. Now, I will tell you guys this much. Guys, if you have the high ground on someone and you're shooting below at their head or even their body or whatever, and you use steel tipped arrow, you can be critting like crazy. And I mean, someone walking up a ladder, you can literally obliterate them if you steel tipped arrow, then poison arrow, then stunning shot, then all that stuff, guys. And then you can do this every 6 seconds. It is ridiculous. Also, this skill is also amazing because of the fact of the extra effect too, which the effect can impale 2 targets at once. So for anybody wondering, if people are just standing there with their Namcans or whatever archer unit it is, muskets, guys, this is the skill you want to use in order to kill missile units, low level units. Longbow was the main class for killing DPS units and everything. This skill is amazing for killing units or missile units, because of the fact that you can kill 2 at once instead of just 1, like where you're just shooting. Literally, if you just hit your steel tipped arrow, you'll kill 2 man cans at once, depending on if the guy has like blue doctrines on them and like blue extra health or whatever. But for the most part, I've always killed 2 Namcans or 2 regular archer units immediately with the steel tipped arrow. Muskets are a bit tankier, so obviously this, will do this. But if you think about it, once you pierce them, you do reduce their defense by 30% for the next 2 seconds. So once you shoot your next arrow, they're going to immediately die. So steel tipped arrow almost is just a must. It's a must. Now Bola, guys. Bola is absolutely amazing. I love Bola because of the fact that like sometimes I've even stopped dual blades when they're running at me with their whatever death mark, whatever it's called. A poleaxe is running at me. There's so many times that Bola has saved my life or has secured me a kill, especially because of the fact that this does have an extra effect of even taking off someone from a mount. When they're on the mount, you just throw it at them and it just takes them off. Or even this Bola skill, you can actually use it as a support skill as well. Same with the stunning shot. Don't only just think about damage. Sometimes if your friend's in need, and he's getting stun locked and everything, stun shot one person, then Bola the other person. And if they keep chasing them, I've saved so many of my friends as well, just from the fact of using my stunning skills and everything, and getting them out of a situation that they got in. So Bola is amazing and stunning shot is amazing. Like I said, you can take Bola out and use rolling escape. You can take poison arrow out and use rolling escape. You can put in one of the alts and put it in here and take it out for Bola or whatever, or take poison arrow out, put angry hornets and leave Bola and all this. The main reason I use this skill setup is because of the fact that it just outputs the most damage as possible, while also being able to allow me to basically secure myself as well. Because I know rolling escape does help out a lot, but these skills, I just use these skills in the right positioning, and I will typically not get like poleaxe ulted or dual blade ulted. I always felt like this: if you need a skill that constantly, like for example, rolling escape, same with Ukos. If you need a skill that, you know, you get into a sticky situation all the time, it's kind of your fault. You're literally putting yourself in a position to get pull exalted, grabbed, anything. You know, once you learn positioning, you don't need some type of escape skill or anything like that. I know there's a lot of CC in this game, but if you just, you know, learn your positioning at all times, you don't have to deal with, you know, getting CC'd, getting into these positions where you need a skill that's gonna maybe take out Bola, and now you can't take someone out that's, you know, on a mount running away, or, you know, you can't stop someone from getting ulted by a poleaxe. Yesterday in my stream, someone was, you know, ulted my friend. I literally stunning shot him, and he wasn't doing any more damage to the guy. And then I immediately killed him. And then the guy was saved from a poleaxe ult of Rope Justice. So, you know, these skills can really be supportive as well, and it really does help out. Now, let's quickly head into this. So, if you do want to practice something with Master at Arms, you come over here and then you go to Training Yard. You know, if anybody didn't know, you can always practice your skills or anything that you need to, in case you want to practice your combos with shortbow and everything. I know a lot of people will ask me as well, what combos do you use? It all depends on the situation, but for the most part, I typically always use Stunning Shot first, and then I'll use Steel Tipped, and then I'll use Poison Arrow. That's most of my skills, just immediately, and as you can see, the skills already pop up as fast as possible. I typically use Bola after my Stunning Shot is done. Now, the one thing I will say you need to be careful is, let's see if I can do it here with this guy. We're gonna just fight here real quick. So, there we go, and then... Oh, he fucking rolled. Fucking AI. Anyways, let me just kill him real quick just so I can talk to you guys about something else that is now showing up as well. So if you guys don't know, Stunning Shot and Steel Tipped Arrow don't go immediately through the shield if they're blocking. But for the most part, it typically does. Bola, however, if a short sword is shielding or a long sword is shielding, you can literally use Bola and it'll knock them down to the ground, which is really nice. Sorry, one of the big last things that I'm going to be saying in this guide is when you're using your little skills, so you guys just see how like I'm glowing, and I know a lot of people have asked me, what are these feathers? So every 3 hits you get a feather. So as you can see, there's even like a little bar going down over time. This is basically from me doing my little auto attacks and everything. So this is armor piercing. Piercing damage is increased. Effect stacks up to 3 times. Using a firing type skill. Oh, I didn't even get to finish, you know, saying it, what it was. But let's get the thing up. So this is basically using a fire type skill will consume 1 stack buff to increase armor penetration. So that skill is amazing. It's amazing because of the fact that you get extra armor piercing damage and everything. So if you guys did not know, when you're using, you know, a skill or anything, it will consume the extra armor piercing, and it'll add the extra piercing damage to the skill that you're using. So this is a great skill to use on your Steel Tipped Arrow, because if you're getting extra armor piercing damage, boom, you stack it up, bam, and then you stack it up again, and then you just keep doing little combos like that as well. Now, some people have been wondering as well, when you're doing any type of like dash or anything like that, it does consume stamina, but you do get your stacks as well. The only thing is, obviously, you don't want to constantly just keep doing this because of the fact that you will run out of stamina, and then boom, you can't do it anymore, and then you can't even run after that if you keep just doing that. So typically, you want to get your stacks. You want to kind of dodge a little bit, and then keep firing a little bit, like that. So you get into the flow of it, you know? I would really suggest try practicing a little bit, and you can always keep the extra damage on if you use your skills right and you keep timing everything. Literally just getting to the point where you just time everything. Look at that. And what's good is that when you get this extra piercing damage, you literally keep this extra piercing damage for 5 seconds if you keep stacking it up. So sometimes even your regular auto attacks are great. You know, so just always keep that in mind, guys. I just want to let you guys know. I'm sorry if you guys do hear the barking in the background. The dogs are barking at someone coming home. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the short bow guide and everything. Hopefully this does help you out and everything as well. I'm not going to showcase any gameplay after this because of the fact that, you know, I'll just do another video and just showcase some of the best, you know, combos that I've used and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have been asking me for short bow gameplay as well. So I'll see you guys later. Deuces. Have a good one. And I'll see you guys.